Hello everybody, this is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and I'm working on the red flannel pajamas, and I'm going to add different trim. I'm not going to do ruffled trim. I'm hoping I have enough of this to do this neckline and on the sleeves. If I don't, I'm only going to do it on the neckline. I will be hand stitching this in place. I have my pressing ham out because this is not a gathered trim. So I want this, the pressing ham will act like my shoulder, and it will make it easier for me to get this to lay nice. And then I'll hand stitch along the top here and along the little curves. So I'm going to have some hand stitching time on this, but I thought I'd show you guys how I'm going to do this because this is not called for in the pattern. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on the flat because I'm going to be working at the front of the yoke. And when we get to the shoulder and the back, we'll pull out the pressing ham. So I need a measuring tape. I'm going to put my lace down or trim. And technically, I don't need to go all the way over here. Let me just look real quick at something here on the pattern. Let's see here. So technically, I could come back away from this a little bit just so this end is just caught in the seam allowance. So maybe I'll start it about 1/4 inch away. And I want it to line up with my little indicator there. And I'm going to pin that. Like so. And the reason I want my measuring tape is I want to keep the trim the same distance away from my neck edge. So it looks like it's about 2 1/8. So I'm going to keep my measure tape on my neck and just slowly go around here and put a pin in. All right, and I might even put one at the bottom edge of the trim as well, through a couple of the loops. All right. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to put the pressing ham under it to give me a little bit of like a rounded shoulder area. So see, 2 1/8. That needs to come over a little bit here. Because this isn't gathered, I'm going to have to kind of work in a little bit of maneuvering space between the inner edge and the outer edge so that it will lay flat in place after I've stitched. Some of it I can manipulate a bit as I'm sewing as well. So now I'm going to put my pressing ham under here. I'm sure everybody else is pretty busy today, so I didn't think anybody would show up to watch me do this. That's okay. We all have lives outside YouTube as well, right? All right, and see, this gives me the rounded shape I need for getting over the shoulder so that the lace or the trim, whichever you want to call this, it's a lacy trim, that's it. So that's pretty good. And I'll just lift it up a little bit, get my pin in there. All right. And again, some of this I can manipulate some when I'm actually doing the sewing as well. Now, I'm being a little fussy with it because I want it to lay nice and smooth. Hi, Pam. Hi, So Canadian. Diane from Calgary. Welcome. So I'm adding a different trim than the pattern called for because I don't really want a eyelet ruffle at my neck. So I went shopping in my stash and I found this pretty like edging piece, and I thought I could add it around here. And again, I want to make sure it's going to lay. That's why I pulled the pressing ham out. I'll come up under here. You have to work a little give space because it's not gathered, so it needs the space within